Let's do this. This is Flipping the Man, where we bring you the biggest topics in news, along with our jokes, thoughts, and notes, opinions, outlook, viewpoints, and beliefs. Mitch, what's going on with you this week?
Oh man, it's a lot of football. A lot of football.
Oh
Long day
man, Coach
yesterday.
Parker. Coach Parker with the 4 months. Tell me about this, Mitch, because there are so many sports going on, NFL, NBA's going, baseball's still in the throes of it's going on. You're in the midst of doing a 12-hour stream, and you start hearing a voice,
That's right.
and you wonder what the hell's going on.
Thought I was hearing that coach is my dreams or
I'm
something.
like, wait a second, what is Coach talking to me? Am I in this Discord? And Coach starts talking to you on stream.
Yeah, out of nowhere. I was like, where's this coming from?
What was your reaction to that? Because I absolutely loved it.
I mean, at first I was like, what is going on? But then I just rolled with this. Like, okay, that's actually kind of funny and then I kind of got the reactions that was going on during a chat at the moment as well. And then I think Coach picked up on it too once I said you're live, and he's like, oh, and he's just asking me all these football questions, what's a hot take for the Steelers tonight? So he actually kind of played along too, which it all it's made for good content for sure. But at first, yeah, it's like, what is going on? Like, I was like, am I in a live channel? Because I was in the live voice channel, but obviously Coach probably didn't see that. Probably saw someone I was in there and probably thought I was just in there by myself or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think he's what he said. He's like, "What are you doing in here by yourself or something?" I think.
Yes, he did say that. He absolutely did say that. Oh my goodness, he was just looking out for you.
He was.
And the funniest thing about it is that I feel like most people would have been clunkier and would have they wouldn't know what to do within that interaction. And Coach just started interviewing you.
He did. It was like just natural. I mean, it was amazing.
A smooth transition into becoming a reporter.
It was.
Absolutely incredible.
I mean, I'm thankful for that. I mean, it turned into this. It was awesome.
It was absolutely good. Without a doubt. I'd say one of the funniest moments I think I've ever seen on stream. And I've seen a lot of funny moments, but absolutely great.
Oh, man. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, my goodness. But, man, there's so much to talk about. And yesterday was, as I said before, an absolutely wild day in the NFL. A couple upsets, a couple games coming down to the wire, a lot of defensive struggles. Teams, playing out of their character in a lot of instances. And that's not even the thing I want to talk about. Because I don't even think that was the biggest moment of the day. The biggest moment of yesterday was LeBron James elbowing old dude, what's his name, Daniel Stewart?
Yeah, Stewart. Christian Stewart or something?
Christian Stewart, Daniel Stewart. I don't know. He's the 11th man. He's a dude that when I was listening to the Right Time with Bomani Jones today, he said that when he was growing up, he played soccer and he boxed. And it made me realize, we've never seen LeBron James in a fight. Was that the closest thing that we saw to a LeBron James in a fight?
Probably. That's as far as I can recall.
And what a hilarious moment that was. Did you see the video of exactly what happened?
Yes.
Because I could give you a good description of what exactly happened.
You can do the audience. There you go.
They're at the free throw line, right? And next you know, you just see LeBron James kind of push off and go, and you see his back because, of course, you're facing the free throw shooter here. That's where the camera, and all you see is LeBron James move. And then you see a little bit of a kerfuffle going on. You're like, wait a second, what the hell just happened? And then next, dude is heated. And next thing you know, you see blood all over the side of his face, and he's trying to whoop LeBron's ass. LeBron being held back by everybody, the refs holding him back, his teammates holding him back, the trainers holding him back. What's his name? What's the commissioner's name?
Adam Silver.
Adam Silver's mentally holding him back because it's LeBron James, and LeBron James is like, "Hey man, you know, I don't fight." And this dude tries to go at him, and he gets held up. And next thing you know, you see Russell Westbrook with his dudes up, and you're like, "Whoa,
Crazy sequence.
what is going on?" So then everybody then calms down. Everybody then calms down. And you know, like, oh, they're trying to sort it out. You know, they're about to get the replay going on ESPN to show exactly what happened. You know, they started the replay, and then they have to change it because Stewart starts charging the dude again. He starts charging LeBron again, and then he goes and like, calm down, and then they stop him. And then they stop him, and everybody gets calmed down. And everybody goes, and everybody's chill. And then dude gets hype again with blood leaking down, blood all over the towel, and he tries to fight him again.
Couldn't get enough.
It was the most funny thing I've ever seen in a very long time. And I don't know why people aren't talking about that today more.
I don't know what was funnier, the actual interaction of what happened or what you just did. I don't know.
Dude kept trying to fight him. And I'm trying to figure out what is going on, what is happening, and he gets calmed down, and then he just keeps going with it again. And I was just cracking my ass up because I'm just like, man, we haven't seen anything like that. And then over the PA announcer, fans, stay in your seats. And listen, I don't know if you've seen Ron Artest in the documentary. Ain't no fan thinking about fighting no basketball player because they gonna get their ass whooped.
Especially, you know. Oh, that's great. Couldn't ask for a better timing, right? During a crazy Sunday football, and not just thrown in there to the wildness of the day.
I mean, I just, what am I to do in that situation? Otherwise, look back at that situation and just laugh,
Yeah,
and enjoy it. I enjoyed every single moment about that situation. And I come to you, Mitch, with this question:
all right.
Is LeBron a bitch?
I mean, isn't that obvious? When you see the way he plays, his flopping, he's always going after the small guys. Like
I'm not talking about basketball with you, Mitch. I'm not talking about basketball. We're talking about life here.
Well, I mean, it all adds up, right? I don't think it's two-sided. I think it's just him. He's authentic. He's just, yeah, I think he is. He's a big boy, but deep down he's a baby back bitch.
Can someone put that on the poll and but put them on both polls. And make sure you don't spell out the word because I don't think that's against TOS. But the biggest thing about that is like that's where I came away from that of like LeBron elbows a dude and people are actually defending LeBron.
Of course they are. Because he's the prestige. Oh, and now he's getting older. I don't want him to get hurt. I don't want him to get any of these scruffles that are going on. He's got to, you know, it's like Tom Brady, the quarterbacks. They got to keep them in a glass showcase. They cannot be touched. They can't even be involved in anything like that.
And you know, I'm not talking about the dude's manhood. I'm not talking, you know, I'm not being misogynistic with this. I'm just asking a flat out question. You how can that moment happen in the NBA and people are feeling like LeBron's legacy is completely ruined. How about that?
Oh, how about that? It's a bold statement, but I like it.
Historically, like, listen, NBA has done everything within their power to limit fighting. Up into the point to where if there's a fight and players leave the bench players that left the bench are automatically ejected and potentially suspended. I think there's an automatic suspension within that. That's how much the NBA has evolved in terms of trying to force a certain image that other sports aren't trying to uphold. Baseball isn't trying to do that. Hockey sure as hell isn't trying to do that. And I'm wondering here, it's like, yo, like, are we missing out on something going on? I'm not saying the NBA has to turn into a fighting league. But how come it's okay in one league and not the other?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, bring back the '80s. The Bad Boys in Detroit.
Yeah. It just makes me wonder, what has the NBA evolved to where its biggest star, and LeBron James is without a doubt its biggest star. I don't know if he's the best player still. I think there's a few people better than him now, but he's still the biggest star in the NBA. And what we see within that is there's no protection. There's no grit. I don't even know whether to call it grit or not. But there's not that tension because everybody just gets held back.
True.
And faced with suspension.
So they know they can't do anything or they're going to get suspended. Like they know
That's right.
There's stuff they would like to do, but they can't. Because they know the result, and then it's ultimately going to hurt the team with suspensions. And of course, like this point in the season, I think you're okay. But still, there's still games that you could avoid.
And let me get this straight. I'm not calling for there to be more fights in the NBA. I'm saying if there's ever a cause for maybe a little bit of a kerfuffle, a couple pushes or something, that was the situation.
Yep.
And we saw one dude lose his absolute mind about 4 different times trying to beat up LeBron. And LeBron just standing back, trying to get held back.
That's wild. I mean, I guess the only when you compare like how you said like a star like that, but like difference with NHL, but like Crosby, and I am a Penguin fan obviously, but even though he's probably the biggest star, even though he's older, like there's better probably younger players now. There is a lot of teams out there that are out to hurt him, they just are, so they are literally out, pretty much like a bounty on him, especially that Tom Wilson guy. I cannot stand him, trash can. But
I mean, the thing is, like, I'm not saying that Crosby has to show something to fight in hockey.
yeah,
Because the structure of those situations are definitely a little bit different. You have these people here to protect your best player. Also, there's an active 5-minute penalty if your best player and top scorer is caught trying to it's called trying to fight.
mm-hmm.
So it actively hurts the team for him to fight.
Yeah, you're correct.
So it a little bit of a different situation, but at least he still has the chance.
He has a chance because hockey at least lets them go at it for a little bit before they stop it. Like, okay, that's enough.
Yeah, and I think Coach brings up the exact point that I'm trying to get at. He picks up what I'm putting down. If the NBA started to have fights, then it's stereotyping culture. And I completely agree. But the biggest conversation about this is that, like, why aren't we stereotyping hockey? What is the need for fighting in hockey? Someone just answer me that question. Maybe someone can answer that question in the chat.
I don't know, just to get it all out, like give them a few moments of just getting that tension. Like, all right, let's go back and let's play now. I really don't know the true answer to that question.
But what would that look like if it happened in the NBA?
So that's a difference. There is gloves, but do they usually take out the gloves? So they usually take out the gloves, I think. So they drop the gloves, and then after they got the fists going, they drop out the helmet.
Come on, let's be real. It's fighting.
It is.
It's fighting. That's all it is.
You're right.
It's so like this whole day. I'm thinking, man, what are we gonna talk about on Slipping a Man? What are we gonna do? And the only thing I come back to is a dude running after LeBron James 4 different times, and the fact that like it seemed more demonstrative in the NBA. Yeah, there's people in hockey and people in baseball that do this on a semi-regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely different.
Multiple
Apparently
times
it's
a year.
okay.
Yeah, and like you said, there needs to be like a streamline one way or the other, because like having it in one league is all right and another's not. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I'm gonna hop off my soapbox
All right,
because I've gone for like 15 minutes on this.
it was pretty.
But this is
entertaining.
the mind of Slip. Of all of that going on. That is exactly what's happening. Back to your Pittsburgh Steelers. They lose 41-37.
Yep,
Covered the spread.
they did.
Are you feeling good or bad about that game?
Actually, good, because I knew the defense was gonna. I mean, I had a hot take earlier, just randomly, just steaming hot take out of my mouth that I knew it was just going to dissolve in midair after I said it. But it was like that the Chargers weren't even going to score 21, like to over 20 points the whole game.
That is hot.
So because they had three,
they scored at least 21 on a bad day.
Yeah,
they're a pretty good team.
They are
a pretty good offense.
But they had three. Steelers had three starters out on defense, so I knew it was going to be very bad. Like my worry was, is the Steelers going to be able to keep up with them offensively? And the way they've showed all year is no. But most of the game, it was like that. It was just like but the difference was, though, Steelers were moving the ball, they're moving the chains. They weren't punting as much as that I thought they were or they had been. So, but then they made some coaching decisions. Of course, in the first drive, they went for it on fourth down, didn't get it on a terrible play call. Mm-hmm. But that fourth quarter, they scored for 20 points in the fourth quarter, and that shows me that they can score. And obviously, they did have some help. They had a punt that was blocked. They had a interception that was created by Cam Hayward that got deflected midair and had really good set up really good field position. But it proved to me, I think the offense knew they had to play harder, and they knew they had more weight that they had to carry that game, and it showed that they can actually do it. And I hopefully have confidence going forward now. Once the starters on defense get back and healthy, you can put it all together and at least have a playoff team. So I take that away as a good thing of how they came back and how the offense looked, especially.
You still think Pittsburgh's going to make the playoffs?
Yes.
Yes. I think it's possible.
The AFC is wide open. And there's a lot of division games. A big reason there's a lot of division games left in that the Steelers have. They've only played 2 division games. They lost to the Bengals, beat the Browns. They still have to play the Ravens twice, and then the Bengals and Browns one more time.
I think about our teams, and I feel like we're in very similar situations to where we can't exactly say we're a good team.
No.
I think it's safe to say the Falcons are actively a bad team. Yet they're still just a game out of the playoff hunt, and that's the worst place to be in.
Yes, because it's like
In
you don't
my
want to
opinion.
tank. You have a chance for the playoffs. What do you do?
So what would you rather do? Would you rather make the playoffs as a 7 seed, or would you rather miss the playoffs and lose more games and get a top 10 draft pick?
And this is the first year as a seventh seed, correct? Or is there one last year?
No, it was one last year.
Okay, there was one last year. It started last year. I was gonna say that's never because yeah, there's only the number one seed was the only one with the bye. That's correct. Man, that is tough, but anything can happen as long as you make the playoffs. Anything can happen. You can just get hot at that right time, but still, with the Falcons, you also can get a really good draft pick. Well, even not, you might not be able to get a good draft pick. Honestly, if you're that close, you make the playoffs because you're not going to get like the top tier, but you'd be probably in the middle tier there of draft, like the 15, like the 13, 17, or 18 pick more than likely if you continue the season like that average basis. So I'd say just at least have a shot. If you make the playoffs, you have that shot. So I would say in that situation, make the playoffs. Now, if you are starting 3-8, then obviously you want to tank, or 4-6 even, and you're out of it or whatever. There's like a couple of 3 games out.
I hear you. You know what's frustrating as a Falcon fan when I look at a situation of Pittsburgh? I see a core and a skeleton of something that can potentially win games and can at least hold yourself in games, right? Even your losses are, that's I don't want to say that they're good losses, but they're a lot sexier than the Falcons' losses.
Especially
Like
your last
you
one.
actually feel that your team's in the game, and you can go in week to week feeling like, hey, my team may have a chance to win this.
True.
Right now, the way that the Falcons are playing, when it comes to the way that they're being coached and the product that they're putting on a field, it's embarrassing to see. It's embarrassing to call myself a Falcons fan. And I'm still going to call myself a Falcons fan. Don't get me wrong. I am a Falcons fan till I die.
He's often said
And
that.
it sucks because we can go out there and surprise, and we're winning a few more games, and we honestly should be doing a little bit better based on some of the things that's gone down. But my goodness, when it looks bad, it looks absolutely terrible, and that's what they've looked like the past two weeks.
Yeah.
Not anywhere competitive to where we can't score over we can't score over 6 points in 2 weeks. If a team can't score over 6 points in 2 weeks, is that on the players or is that on the coaching staff?
It could be on both. There's multiple factors. I mean, play calling is a big factor, and
So, oh my goodness, what a non-answer. We don't have this show to give non-answers. Now it could be both. I can't believe you, Mitch. I mean, what kind of answer was that?
I don't know. I honestly haven't watched the Falcons enough to really get a true answer on it. So I take a safe answer.
I think this is a general question because, like, what if the Steelers went out and did the same thing? If you are the worst team in the league, and I think we could both agree that maybe the Lions right at this point.
Yeah. Which I wouldn't even say that because
they're scoring 10 points a game.
And they're in every game.
At least.
I mean, obviously you go to the offensive coordinator, obviously, coaching. When you're not scoring points, that's the first person I go to, blame to. And I hate when I go straight to the head coach. It's not the head coach. If it's the offensive side, defensive side, it's the coordinators first.
Arthur Smith calling the plays, or he should be. Otherwise, why hire him?
He's the Andy Reid, huh? The new Andy Reid?
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith.
I mean, well, I think my guy, the offensive coordinator in Kansas City, is calling those plays, but we digress. The
Bellamy?
the biggest thing is that like that's just unacceptable. I tend to blame coaching. Now, I joke about it, fire Arthur Smith and all this other stuff, but at the end of the day, it's like it's just embarrassing. Like how the hell does that happen to any team two times in a row?
Professional football players, especially.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that has to be coaching because Matt Ryan. He when he was looking good there for a while too. It's not like
Yeah.
that it was just on him.
Yeah.
So obviously, it's like the play calling just got wonky or something, and just like they aren't with the film or just not finding the weaknesses of that defense, and they're just going right into their strengths or something. I have no idea.
I think it's a little bit of a lack of adjusting too.
Yeah, adjustments big.
It's like, what are you telling me that there's no adjustments that you can make to score a touchdown in 2 straight weeks? It just makes little sense. And so I'm just a depressed Falcons fan at this point. My god dang MLB team won a championship, and I'm over here sitting sad because my other team can't score a touchdown.
I know how it feels when I transition into a Steeler fan into a Pirate fan, or a Penguin fan into a Pirate fan.
I just don't get it. I digress.
I still need a defense, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely worse. I saw a stat the other day that Matt Ryan has had a top 15 defense twice
Top 15.
in his whole career.
Not even a top 10, a top 15.
A top 15 defense twice. I think one was a number 8 and one was a number 15. Everything else 20 and above or 20 and below. Is above or below?
Below.
20 or below. I just don't understand. Something has to change. And when I feel like I'm watching the Falcons, it feels that I'm watching nothing compared to any other team, because even the worst of any other teams at least score or at least make it competitive. And sometimes they just can't do it. I understand teams are going to get blowed out every now and then, and that happens, but it's a little bit different, and I just don't get it.
Yeah. I think it comes down to adjustments, you're right. And that's on both. Now, that's both on players and coach, because Matt Ryan can audible out of stuff, too, if he sees something on the field as well. End-game adjustments.
I think that's a little bit overrated. I think people call audibles, and the fact that, like,
hot routes, man.
Just because you don't, but this isn't Madden.
They do hot routes.
I know they do hot routes, but you're saying that he doesn't do that,
or that like. I listened to Ben Roethlisberger's post game yesterday because I was kind of curious what he was.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did, because I was curious to see how he
listened to the post game.
I did. I was scrolling my phone and I saw it. I just wanted to listen to it, but because it was just there, I didn't actively. It's sewage. It's straight sewage. But I did listen to it, and it was actually kind of nice because he was, of course, had COVID. That's another thing to talk about, because we didn't talk about what the Steelers, along with, and you asked me about the performance, what I thought about it, because the game in general. Ben was out all week with COVID. He tested. He said he started feeling bad Saturday night. He called the doctor or whoever and said, "I'm just not feeling that good." He's like, "You gotta get tested right away, because that's just the protocol. You don't feel good, you gotta get tested right away." He got tested. He didn't think anything of it. Went back to his place because he never was around. That's why no one else got it, I feel like. And then they came back positive.
Vaccinated.
Oh, true. And so then when it was positive, then that's when he stayed home. But he said he didn't do anything till Friday, and it's when he warned up the trainer when there was a shot that he could play Sunday. He just...
Yeah.
And then he did some cardio and stuff Saturday, But really, being able to do that performance like that off like a couple of days of like workouts, I mean that is so pretty impressive, in my book. And he's not cooked because he could do that. Well, I digress.
I knew you were going there. I knew the whole setup was just for you to tell me that he's not cooked. If he's not cooked, why is he losing by 21 points into the fourth quarter?
He was slanging it yesterday, man.
Oh, yeah.
He had a couple underthrows, though. He did have a couple underthrows.
Slanging and Ben Roethlisberger cannot be combined in the same sentence. They can't be in the same sentence in any way, and you know that.
I understand that. But he did look really good. There were some accurate throws there. I'm not saying he's fully cooked. You're acting to me like he is literally just meat.
All right.
Cooked, sizzling.
So I will settle for this. He is not well done, but he may be medium rare.
Medium rare. I don't even think it's medium rare. I think it's just rare.
Oh my goodness. That man is on 400 degrees of a grill.
Oh, no.
Oh man, come on, man. You can't honestly tell me that you saw someone come back like that and say that that's the vibe you got? That he's not cooked? Because he had to come back from over 21 points?
I'll take a guy that can't make every throw like he used to, but still keeps you in the games and gives you a chance to win.
Did he actually keep him in the game?
Yeah. He actually made a couple of really great throws that probably not many quarterbacks still could throw that. That's just experience.
Oh my goodness.
Experience, chemistry, all the whole 9 yards. Especially that one, like the Deontay Johnson in that end zone, it'll just right in the breadbasket. Perfect.
I just.
Oh man. Yeah, it's. I don't know. I don't say he's cooked. I know he's. I've said it before now that I do think he should retire after the season, and that's a no-brainer. He has stayed his welcome. He's done enough for the franchise. It's time for him to hang it up. Now, that doesn't mean he's fully cooked and even medium rare, like you're saying. His arm, he doesn't have the deep ball anymore. Okay, he doesn't have the deep ball anymore, all right? I'll say that. Doesn't mean he's still... so it doesn't mean he's cooked if he doesn't have a deep ball. It's not like you have to throw a deep ball to be a good quarterback and not cooked.
The dude can't make the throws past 5 yards, and I'll give him a little bit of credit. He made a couple good throws from even when I was looking at it. I'm not gonna lie.
He's just not consistent like he used to be.
Yeah, he's not. And so like it goes back to what we were talking about earlier of your team is going to be perpetually in this state of 500 possibly making the playoffs at this point.
Yep.
With Ben Roethlisberger at your QB.
Exactly.
Say if you had a younger Ben Roethlisberger, I'd say you're top of the division.
Yeah, we had him back like the 2013, 2012, or about 2013, about 2018. Oof.
The 2016 Ben Roethlisberger,
Yeah.
the 2017 Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh, I was
Not even
saying
that far back.
Oh, I'm saying 2013. I saw like the range of Ben Roethlisberger when they had AB, when AB and him were just.
Oh well, I don't want to go into the personnel. I'm just saying.
I'm not either, but that's the Ben I like.
You clearly see the talent drop off on what he's capable of and what he's not capable of.
Fair. That's fair.
I mean, so. But
Anywho,
you say all that just just say, "Oh, Ben Roethlisberger isn't cooked." You just wait until next week and see if he's cooked or not.
But we saw what Mason Rudolph could do, though.
Dude went down 21 points in the fourth quarter, and you're telling me that this dude may not be cooked. Like, okay.
Hey, at least Ben Roethlisberger can score points.
If that's what you need to sleep at night.
At least Ben Roethlisberger can score points.
Yeah, man, you don't have to do that. Are the Cowboys good or the Cowboys bad? Or they're not a bad team. They are absolutely not a bad team.
Average.
Are the Cowboys title contenders?
I still think they are. And that offense is clicking. They didn't have Amari Cooper yesterday either. And CeeDee Lamb did go down during the game.
Yeah.
And their defense, I think, like especially having Diggs on the field because he's a ball hawk, obviously this year with all the interceptions he's had. But
he's on the highlight reel on both sides. You know, he's either getting burnt or he's taking it to the house.
That's his issue. He'll pick it off, but he's just as a true defender, not good in coverage, and that's an issue.
I think that's the risk reward with a player like that.
That's true.
And it's worth it for him to get beat if he's able to score. If he's able to score touchdowns with that, or just big returns.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, I'm not completely sure.
But I'll say this: I still think they are. I think they're NFC title contenders, championship contenders. I think that's where they're going to end up. They're going to make the NFC championship, and that's where they're going to lose out to either the Rams or some other team. Don't know yet.
You see that's the odd thing about the NFC at this point. You see a team like the Cowboys whoop up on people, even good teams, whoop up on bad teams, but also lose the bad teams and lose the good teams. Mm-hmm. And then you got the Rams who just lost to the 49ers.
Yeah.
Like no one right now is consistently looking like a top team in the NFC right now. However, the NFC is absolutely looking better than the AFC.
Oh, for sure. And it's like
in terms of top heavy.
AFC has been very interesting as a whole to watch. We started to see Bills end up losing the Steelers' first game, but then after that, Bills were on a tear. Like they like I don't think anyone they were like, okay, these are like Super Bowl contenders. They're just blowing out teams. I remember that it was I think Houston and Buffalo's that first big spread. I'm like, okay, Houston's going to cover here, and they just like demolished that spread and covered by a long shot. And so the Bills were doing like getting hot again. Right after that, that's like that one loss that like made them wake up. And then they started going, and they lost to Jacksonville. Had other games that just haven't looked that great in. And then here comes the Titans.
Too good yesterday either.
No, not at all. And then the Titans had their little tear, but that's when they had Derrick Henry healthy as well. And they had a run, so they were the top of the AFC. They took over the Bills slot. And then now they've lost to the Jets and Houston. I mean, losing to Jets and Houston.
Those are some of the two worst teams in the NFL.
Yes. So it's like and then you got the Baltimore Ravens now. They have a good record, but look at their games. They are barely squeaking off wins left and right. Like they are just one of the luckiest teams, I feel.
They've gotten consistently lucky because even with Lamar Jackson on the field, they almost lost to the Lions.
Yeah.
You know, it took a record-breaking kick field goal for them to win that. I feel like I ask you this every single week because I think the answers are different every single week. Who are the two people that are going to be in the Super Bowl for you?
I still think the Packers. I think I had Packers Bills in my first.
And the Packers just lost to the Vikings.
But I still think Packers are going to get there. Packers and... Man, see, this is AFC, man. Oh. I'm going to go with the... I'm I'm sticking with the Bills.
The Bills.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man.
Still sticking with it. Hey, there's that window where they can go on that run, and that's the run you need. That last push.
I'm gonna go with Cowboys and Chiefs. The Chiefs. I don't know what happened to that defense. They were the worst defense in the world. Now they're playing like a top 10 defense. And then I think the Cowboys offense is strong enough to beat anybody. And so right now I'm still going to go with the Cowboys and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs I think it's going to be Bills Chiefs AFC Championship.
You know, I thought about the Rams, and Rams Chiefs was my preseason pick.
It was.
But Matthew Stafford, you think him being with a better offensive coordinator and having more talent around him, that he'd be able to consistently be good? And he's doing some questionable things. You know what I'm saying? He's doing some majorly questionable things. And it makes me worried about the guy. It really does make me worried about him.
Absolutely. He looked really good there for a while, but then now it's starting to show.
Yep. I think I can, at this point, if I'm thinking about who I trust more, I think I trust Dak more than Matthew Stafford.
Yep. And speaking of the Chiefs too, because that made me think about Dak and just the Chiefs when you're talking about them and what got into them. It's been their defense. The defense came out of nowhere.
Yeah,
they're actually rushing the passer. They're making plays. They're getting interceptions, like getting turnovers. Like what in the world? Mm-hmm. That defensive coordinator must have done something.
Yeah,
or Andy Reid might have fired him all up in general just as a coach. But that's been
something definitely happened to make them start playing a lot better than what they were doing, and it's quite impressive.
It is.
It's quite impressive.
Absolutely.
So let's get into the picks of this week.
All right.
Because we got Thanksgiving, and we're only going to do the Thanksgiving picks for this week. We got some pretty good games, and the spreads are looking absolutely phenomenal.
Delicious, just like on Thanksgiving?
Absolutely delicious. Listen to this first one, which I think may be the most difficult.
Oh.
Bears minus 3.5 at the Lions.
Ooh.
The Bears are playing on the road and are road favorites by 3.5 points against the Lions. Who you got?
One question.
Yeah?
Is Jared Goff playing?
That's the question?
Yeah. Better than that damn Boyle that was out there.
I mean
he played like a
I honestly don't think it matters.
I think he's better than Boyle. Well, anyway, I'm going to take Lions. I'm going to cover.
You're going to take Lions? I'd take the Lions too. And then you got Raiders +7 at Cowboys.
Ooh, Raiders.
Raiders +7 at Cowboys.
Off a loss. Raiders.
That's some points, man. That's some points.
No, the Raiders win. They won it. No, they lost. Who they play this week? Yesterday they lost.
Didn't they play a tough game against whatever that team was?
That sounds about right.
I thought they played a pretty competitive game.
I know they lost, because I do remember. Because obviously I was watching and the games are going on. God, I can't remember the team. Well, anyway, so they just lost too. So there's two teams that just lost.
The Bengals.
Bengals, that's right.
Oh, they got the butt whooped by the Bengals.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
So I was completely wrong.
So let's see. You said 7? Dallas 7?
7.
Whew, man. I'm going to still go Dallas because they're off a loss too. They're going to come to play.
Raiders, man. I have a good feeling. Anything can happen on Thursday.
Cowboys at home.
On Thanksgiving, anything can happen, man.
You're right. Anything can happen.
And I don't know if Amari Cooper's going to be able to be back.
That's true. About CeeDee Lamb, I don't know. He was injured too, and it's a short week.
He might be a concussion.
Short week?
And that's just adding more to it. 7 points, that's juicy. I think I'll take 7 points on anybody, man.
Well, I do that a lot, and it comes back to bite me. So I'm going to
Yeah.
go with the points this time.
And this last game it would have been a real good night game, a night recap if it wasn't for injuries. But then, we still got a good defensive team on one of these. We have the Bills -4.5 at the Saints.
Oof. I give me the Bills all day on that.
You got Bills? I think I got Bills too because I just don't trust the Saints.
I don't
And
know.
I also don't like the Saints. The
I know.
Saints can, I think I'd choose against them in any fashion. But I think the Bills are due for a big game, and Josh Allen is due for a big game. And with the Bills, their good defense is going to shut Simeon down, and so
Yeah. All
Anyway.
right, man. Yeah, those are some juicy games.
It is some juicy games. I'm excited
I didn't
for
even
it,
know the
man.
games. To be honest with you, obviously I know the Lions and Cowboys. But
yeah, I
obviously,
didn't either until I was doing prep for the show. It's going to be some good games.
Oof.
Yeah, man. Anyway.
And time to feast and watch the football, baby.
That's right. Anyway, this has been Slip in the Man, where we bring the biggest topics and news to you, along with our jokes, thoughts, notes, opinions, outlook, viewpoints, and beliefs. Bitch, you got anything to say before we end for today?
Ben is not cooked.
Goodness gracious. We'll talk to y'all in the after show. Peace.